watching the show. You'll have like, middle-aged Bay Street lawyers watching the show. You'll have, colleges will have like groups of college kids getting together in their dorms to watch it. You have little kids watching it, and that's very justifying. We had a great moment on the street where in Vancouver, came out of a store, and a little girl of 5 was with her mom, and recognized myself, and she said, "From Corner Gas," and loved the show, and thought that was kind of cute because she was like 5 or 6. Then there was a lady with 95, same thing, like 40 yards later, 90-year-old woman, loves the show, and then we're walking farther down the street, and this pickup truck pulled over with like 3 just thugs. You guys looked like they were on their way to whack a dude, like big tattoos up his neck, like a flame job tattoo on his neck going out of his face, and piercings in his eyebrow. And he yelled, "Corner Gas effing rocks," he yelled at him. I thought, well, that's everybody right there.
You were born the day Lenny Bruce died.
Lenny Bruce is
Lenny
dead?
Bruce is dead, and he's not using the F word anymore.
I gotta get one of these computers. Stay on top of these things.
But the whole the idea of a clean, accessible act was something, I think your timing back in the late 80s worked pretty well for you, though, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
You moved that onto the show.
Yeah, well, it's just, it's kind of as much an economic decision as anything else. If you operate clean, you have fewer places where you're not allowed to operate, right? There's more access. So it was kind of an economic decision, but it's also kind of just naturally, for the most part, that's how my head works. I grew up in an environment where we weren't allowed to be filthy, and but that's not to say I don't enjoy filthy humor and that I haven't said filthy things in my life. Some of my best friends are the filthiest people walking the planet, and they make me laugh a lot.
Well, I know one of them. He's actually here looking in. We won't name him, but
He's flipping through pornography right now.
he is a filthy pig, originally from Tisdale, but it's good to have you here, Tracy. Oh, sorry. Many people.
But everybody has their own, Toronto, right? For Calgary, Edmonton. Everybody has their own kind of word. And that's one of the things that I've always been fascinated by, is that people tend, it's almost like inversely proportional, right? It's like the more similar you are to your neighbor, the more you hate them. Because there really is a very few differences between Milford and Tisdale. The only thing that I heard one time an older person say, they think they're so big with their Dairy Queen. So for that we hate them. So I've always been kind of fascinated by that whole notion. So I just worked that in, because every town has their neighboring town that they hate. And also, I kind of think for the most part, it's a one-way street. That's what I kind of seem to notice. People in Tisdale resented Melford. Melford really had no strong feelings towards Tisdale one way or the other.
It's funny, because that's the Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon, Regina.
Yeah,
Regina couldn't care less what Saskatoon thinks. But people in Saskatoon run around going, "Oh my God, Regina." Calgary, Edmonton, same thing. Calgarians spend a lot of time slagging Edmonton, and everybody else goes, "Yeah." Paul in Saskatoon, you're on with Brent Butt. I need your comments quickly, sir. Yep, go ahead, Paul. Oh, this is Paul. This is Paul Hack. Okay, I recognize that voice.
Oh, excellent. That's nice.
All right. Okay, you have to leave, and unfortunately, we have a ton of calls. We're going to take the calls, even in your absence. Favorite episode?
Hard to pick a favorite, that's for sure.
Like children, I guess.
No, it was always easy for my parents to pick a favorite child. And they would line us up on a daily basis and say, "Today you're my favorite." And then we all were rushed to therapy.
Great having you here, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brent Butt, the creator, the writer, the man behind Corner Gas. I'm John Gormley. We are behind the scenes at Corner Gas, and some interesting guests, and a lot more of your calls next, only on News Talk Radio.